Kids over there behind me are like dueling with their motorcycles. Like trying to smash into each other. White kids too. That's definitely like usually a thing a black kids would do, but they're troublemaking whites. Speaking of white people, I'm in line here at the ABC getting some coffee, and I'm grabbing my pants because I have like a ton of different pockets of this annoying, like these things, those things, cargo shorts. So I'm like paying, but I couldn't find my wallet, and I'm grabbing them like every fucking part of my legs. And this kid behind me is from I don't know, some other country, but like a good country, one that has like civilization like we have in the West. So he's, you know, not wilding out all the time. One of those countries. And he's like, I'll pay for you, don't worry, put it up there, I'll pay for you. I'm like, man, that's very nice, thank you, but I'm all set. But that was real nice of you. And you're like, yeah, no problem. It's definitely a white person thing, it's a cultural thing. And I'm not even saying that like against black people, but everyone, all non-whites would do that. There's certain things that like white people do. Well, like these white people are dueling motorcycles. It's very unusual. But yeah, there's just certain things they do, certain things we know, we have a commonality, like personal space. I almost said private space. Like they know it's kind of rude to get so close to someone that you can smell their breath or feel the heat of it on the back of your neck. They just know that's not, you know, it's uncomfortable. But that's not a thing that the rest of the world seems to be bothered by. The rest of the world doesn't seem to be bothered by this because they, man, some of the people I get in line sometimes, I can tell they're fucking astrological sign. Speaking of white people, in more white news, people are really upset that we took those South African white people in as refugees. Now, unlike all the other refugees we've been getting, they actually are being killed. But the media says it's an alt-right conspiracy. Even though, if you're lucky enough to see this stuff before it gets taken off, the farmers themselves have posted blogs and photos and all this stuff, but it gets pulled. I wonder why. But yeah, this has been going on there for a long time. Like, I was living in Lawrence when I first started hearing about this, and yeah, they've been trying to reclaim the land. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. Fucking Sun City happened. Not the place, the record. Now, I like Steven Van Zandt. He seems pretty cool. He managed one of my friend's bands and worked with a bunch of others, of the group's friends I know. And he has his own radio show, and he seems to really be interested in like newer artists and stuff. And he seems really cool. But that Sun City, that was the fucking worst thing. They thought at the time that they would like, it was a giant like virtue signal. You know, they were like, we'll do, everybody will see we care about black people if we do Sun City. It was to end apartheid, which is the worst thing that happened. Well, because of it, we have this. We have them murdering white people now. That's the lesson here. Whenever you give someone, whenever you give a non-white in a society, in an area like that, or any area at all, more power than you, like you give them equal. If you don't keep the top pole position, and you relinquish it as a way to try to look like, you know, as a virtue signal, like no, we'll all be together. Once you get outnumbered, they're gonna kill you. They're gonna eat you, and that's exactly what happened there. You know. So it's been going on forever. It's still not being recognized as a genocide. And in fact, I thought that was my Mossad neighbor. Wow, that lady looks just like my Mossad neighbor. Same kind of thing, same kind of dog too. So They won't say it's even happening, which isn't like a big surprise, because it's white people being killed. So of course they're for that. You know what I mean? Our media is for that. So they bring these people over to rescue them from the hordes over there, from the orcs that are just killing them all. And then what you're gonna end up is like the same situation they had in Rwanda. Was it Rwanda? Mugabe, God rest his soul. Actually, no, fuck that guy. He was good for laughs, but yeah, my friend's from there, and she told me stories about some of the stuff he would do. He's the guy that he had such famous quotes as, well, we don't care about the farmland because we don't get our food from the farms, we get it from the store. And another time saying that crime is white people's fault because they brought stuff there that they knew they would want to steal. All kinds of shit like that. He was fucking crazy. He had some good quotes. But when originally they kicked all the farmers there, they had to ask them to come back. And some stupid idiot white farmers did. Because when they left, they were starving. Because, I mean, no one wants to... First of all, they don't want to do the work. They refuse to work. But if they did, they wouldn't know how. They don't know how to farm. No, those, you know... Over there, they've never done that, you know. In fact, I don't know how many black farmers there are here. Sure, there's some, but it's just not culturally something that they're into do. Time is involved. You know, you're growing crops, you have to... Everything's a lot of time locked. And time is not their fucking strongest point. In fact, of all the languages they have over there in Africa, all the different clicky-clock languages, there is no word for time. You know, there's no concept of it. And I guess that makes sense because they don't have a prefrontal cortex in their brains, which is the part of the brain that associates abstraction and deals with abstraction. Time is an abstract concept. Like, that's why they're not good with, like, showing up on time. And it's always the same thing. Like, oh, you're supposed to be here at 9. I'm here, right? Like, they can't get the little nuance that the time is important. To them, it's like, what are you mad about? You know, I'm here, you know? And you can't, like, explain that to someone because then no matter how many times you explain it, it's not, they can't conceive of it. They can't work that out. So, with that in play, they ain't gonna fucking farm nothing. No fucking way. But anyway, so now all the, like, progressive types are mad that we took these refugees over here. Families with little kids, like actual refugees, escaping murder for their lives. And these people understand our culture, like, they understand civilization. They understand how to be civilized, which most of the world doesn't. Like this whole kind of the Western idea of having a society, you know, where there are laws and stuff, but there are also kind of unwritten social rules. Like you just don't go around smashing people in the face, you know, and that's lost on most of the world, you know. It's kind of only where white people are, really. Any kind of society like that. And the places that do have something like that have non-whites, are places where white people used to be. And they set it up. And then they left or moved on, or like in Africa, they tried to kill them off or whatever happened. And then they move out and the place will still have some kind of infrastructure, but it will degrade. Like they don't know how to maintain it. You know, like I've said, everybody's good at something. You know, everybody's good at something. We're all good at our different things, you know. The reason, I think, or one of that white people are good at civilization in society is because they're from a different climate where it was cold. When it's cold, I mean, from the north, right, originally. So the mountains. When it's cold, you have to have a shelter. So you have to build something for you to, survive in. And you also have to farm because there's not food year round. Now, if you're from a warmer place like this, Hawaii or the islands or Africa, you just have the same, weather all year round. You don't have to farm because everything's always available. I mean, it would help, but the fact that they don't know how to and can't is fine for them. Because as hunter-gatherers, they just go around, pick stuff, and kill things. Hunter-gathering. The problem is when you put some of these people into the sort of white society, not sort of, it is, it's like white civilization, I guess. They still have those instincts to hunt and gather. So it turns into hunting people and gathering their belongings. And that's it. And these are just things that people will never be able to say. So there is no fixing it because we'll never be able to, have the conversation that you have to fix these things. Even just saying the stuff like I said right now, you'd fucking probably go to jail in the UK for saying that stuff. Never mind the religious aspect of things, like Muslims, they don't allow anything, that we're usually used to having in the West, the freedoms that we have in the West. Which, I mean, whether they're good or not is up for debate, but they're verboten in their societies. So they come here or to the West and they want to keep that going. But it's like diametrically opposed to the West, and they don't care. And they want to keep forcing it, and that's why, that causes problems too. It's a different kind of thing, but, it's still a situation where you have two different groups of people that can never get together. They can never live in peace together. There's no way. And that's how we decided to keep the civilized world. We didn't decide. The hats at the top decided. Because they knew it would benefit them by, killing off and hurting in some form or fashion the sons of Abraham. The children of Adam, spawn of Adam, who they're pretending to be, So we're the real ones. And they need to get rid of us, really. It's a religious thing for them. So it's pretty fucked up. World's a fun place. I just had this whole section I was going through that I'm not going to be able to use. So I stopped and just restart again. Because sometimes I get kind of, it gets close to the line about what I can be talking about without getting into trouble. And I stepped over it. I always do when I talk about this stuff. Because it just, it's aggravating. It's aggravating. Woman on, I should stop going to Twitter. The lady on Twitter talking about how they're going to hunt down the white refugees. She said, no, you got to understand, you don't have the Secret Service like our president does. So we will find you. It's like, lady, that kind of talk is what's making people stop pretending to like them. Because we've had to for a lot of years. I mean, living with you wasn't something we wanted to do. It was forced upon us at gunpoint by our government. Okay? So we've, I speak for all white people here, as I often do. We've had to pretend because of laws and because of not even social laws, but we just can't tell you how we feel. But people have stopped worrying about that, and this is just going to make us get to that point quicker. I don't know what happens. Like the other day I was saying, it's like any kind of conflict, like they seem to want to be pushing, like the people at the top, our masters, they seem to be want to pushing, is just going to suck. It's going to be a pain in the ass. At like the very least. Let me walk over to Schizo Garage. So there's an audience going here. Somebody doing that in the parking garage over there. It sounds like someone's fucking... Oh, it's just a guy in the back of his car. You never know around here. A lot of wild out going on. But, yeah. She's like, in this country, we're empowered black people. Like, the black people in Africa don't like black people from the West. They hate them. You know, so it's like, I don't know, whatever. I can't think about it. It gets me aggravated. And then I start talking, I say stuff that I would probably get in trouble for. This is still fucking good boy summer. And it is until July. So I gotta be good. Before I left, I was watching all this stuff about, I was watching a guy's video talking about how modern day concerts are starting to incorporate a lot of stuff from rituals, witchcraft and Satanism. So I almost did an actual video about the occult. Wow, that would be amazing. That was the point of the exercise here before. And then it's somehow gotten into this. Well, the world keeps getting crazier. You know, I'd love to spend more time thinking about the metaphysical, but when the physical in front of you is so shit that it fucking takes up your attention, and it is shit. But, you know, we gotta go through it. We gotta point, we gotta laugh. Try to do that every day. And I'll try to be here every day to point and laugh. But I usually am. I'll miss a day once in a while, but I'm not going anywhere. Until next time, thanks for dropping in. As always, don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.